Now out in cinemas is the third entry in the Deadpool series, Deadpool and Wolverine. Directed by Sean Levy, best known for comedies such as the Night at the Museum series, and he worked with Ryan Reynolds on Free Guy. It's been 6 years since the last Deadpool film, and during that time a lot has changed, with Disney buying 20th Century Fox, and Ryan Reynolds had gone through a number of ideas of what the third Deadpool film would be about. They struggled to get any ideas off the ground until Hugh Jackman called up Ryan in August of 2022. Suggesting the idea of Wolverine returning and teaming up with Deadpool. Ryan felt this would solve a lot of their problems. Since the first Deadpool film, there's been references to Hugh, and in the sequel the joke was that Logan was now dead, so any team-up couldn't happen, as Hugh Jackman decided to hang up his claws in 2017 in the film Logan, which was a well-received film, but ultimately a very depressing one. Hugh felt he had made a mistake in doing that, as he felt teaming up with Ryan they could capture the buddy comedies of the 80s, such as 48 Hours, Planes, Trains and Automobiles, which had a straight character alongside a comedian, and having the multiverse being so normalised now with audiences, it would make it easy for him to return. For the film's story, with Cable's time-travelling device being repaired at the end of Deadpool 2, Wade used the device to travel from his timeline to bring back his friends and his wife-to-be. 6 years later, Wade has retired as Deadpool to have a normal life and is now working as a used car salesman with Peter after breaking up with his girlfriend Vanessa. During his birthday party, the TVA capture Wade and bring him to Mr. Paradox, who reveals that Deadpool's timeline is deteriorating as a result of the death of Logan, who is revealed to be the timeline's anchor being, whose existence keeps their respective timelines stabilised and intact. Deadpool decides to steal Paradox's tempad to travel the multiverse to find a variant Logan to save his timeline, and ends up finding the worst Wolverine of the multiverse. I enjoyed the first two Deadpool films. They were very funny and had some great action sequences. I enjoyed them for what they were at the time, but I didn't have this desire to keep going back to them. The plots were nothing special, they were fun to watch, and the key selling point was Ryan Reynolds breaking the fourth wall and taking the piss out of the superhero genre. So I wasn't surprised it took them a while to figure out what to do with the third one. You couldn't just follow the same formula, as it was perhaps wearing thin. There had to be more at stake in the plot, to make it worthwhile revisiting the character. It was bound to happen anyway, as Deadpool 1 and 2 both made over $750 million each, so a very profitable franchise. So having Deadpool team up with another popular superhero was ideal to bring some new life to the franchise. The hype for this film has been pretty bonkers, and with how well it's turned out in the past few days at the box office, it seems Marvel are back on track, as most moviegoers have been suffering from superhero fatigue, and since the Avengers Endgame, it's been difficult to get fully invested in these recent films. It just felt like we were going through the motions, and honestly I haven't been that excited with the recent output. But with Deadpool and Wolverine, I was for once pretty intrigued how this film would turn out. It's tough to talk about this film without spoiling it, which I'm not going to do. But if you've seen the trailers, it features Sabretooth from the first X-Men film, Pyro from X-Men 2, and X-23 from Logan. As it's dealing with the multiverse, you're going to encounter other characters, so there is a lot of nice surprises. But you could argue the film is more about cameos than having a story that tries to do something different, as we've dealt with this plotline in other Marvel shows such as Loki and Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So it's not doing anything particularly new, but saying that, it's really entertaining and does have a strong emotional arc to it. The selling point is clearly seeing Wolverine and Deadpool finally teaming up, and as Hugh and Ryan have great chemistry and are great friends in real life, it makes the film that much more enjoyable to watch. As a big fan of X-Men as a kid, seeing Hugh Jackman in a proper comic book outfit was really cool to see. We finally got there after 20 plus years. Hugh Jackman really shines in the film, and as he knows the character so well, it's easy for him to fall back into the role. But because in the film this Wolverine has a past he can't reconcile with, he has these moments that really strike those emotional beats. He is definitely the heart of the film. Ryan, as usual, provides the comedy and does a superb job. I think most of the gags worked really well. As the movie deals with the multiverse, he points out how people are sick of this storyline and even takes the piss out of lengthy run times for these movies. The in-jokes and fourth wall breaking are again used to the fullest, even making fun of Fox and Disney, which is to be expected. I'm glad Disney didn't try to cut it down to make it a 12A or say PG-13. A watered down version of Deadpool just doesn't work, as there are some comic book characters like the Punisher that have to be hard R-rated movies. You can't have a PG version of the Punisher, as it would suck so bad. Emma Corrin, aka Diana Princess of Wales, plays Cassandra Nova, who is Charles Xavier's twin sister. She is the villain of the movie, She's clearly having a blast torturing Wolverine and Deadpool, but she seems far more powerful than Charles, as she has abilities you've never seen in the Marvel Universe, and she uses them to great effect. The visual effects are pretty top-notch throughout and are consistent in quality. The film mostly makes use of loads of licensed pop songs by NSYNC, Huey Lewis and the News, AC/DC, and of course Madonna. The score by Rob Simonson didn't really do much for me. I don't think the music really stood out to grab your attention. The pop songs eat up most of the soundtrack and are there most often to elevate the fight scenes. It's clear that utilising the multiverse and having superheroes team up and loading a film with cameos is an instant crowd pleaser for the fans, but you can't hang an entire film on that idea, as at first it works to a degree because we all sit there waiting for the next character to pop up. We are all guilty of that, but you do run the risk of there not being much of a story to keep it going. But this film thankfully does have a solid foundation, though slightly rocky at the start, and finds its footing quickly to stay focused on its main goal. Marvel fans are going to rush out to see it, general moviegoers will as well, because Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds are very popular actors, and as we've seen they are both genuinely nice guys, so it's easy to watch them and be entertained. The movie is pure summer blockbuster fodder that will please pretty much everyone. I'm sure over time on repeated viewing you could pick it apart in areas, as it's not doing anything that is particularly groundbreaking of the genre. It just delivers on what it promises, and it has a lot of heart to it, which avoids it being this lazy attempt to trigger your fond memories of the Marvel Universe. I think it gives enough reasons to play with the idea of visiting the various universes to move the story forward, without it being so cheap and desperate to flick those nostalgia switches. And if this is the last time Hugh Jackman is playing Wolverine, then he has certainly gone out with a bang. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to click the like button and hit the bell to be notified of my latest reviews. Big thanks to my patrons and YouTube members for supporting the channel. If you want to get involved and gain access to exclusive videos and take part in Q&As, follow the link below.